Hello, and welcome to ICD-10 by Compulink. In this session, you're going to be able to view how Compulink is going to help you with ICD-10 coding, both converting, consolidating, and coding new ICD-10 codes post 10/1/2015. You'll notice I have changed my date to simulate what the system is going to work like after 10/1/2015. We're going to be talking about multiple scenarios, and the first scenario I want to cover is taking previous dates of service and previous information and forwarding that information. Now, in this case, we have a couple scenarios. We have a patient that has wet AMD, and they have a tobacco use or tobacco status of current someday smoker. Also, this patient has diabetes, diabetic retinopathy, and diabetic macular edema. When using my blue forward arrow, that is going to forward the diagnosis from the last date of service. Notice when I clicked on my blue arrow, that forwarded, and it forwarded only one item from my diabetes, and then it forwarded my macular degeneration with my H code or my new ICD-10 code. The reason why we only have one diabetic code is because these now will consolidate. In ICD-9, we were required to have all three codes. In ICD-10, these now consolidate into one code. And that is how we forward our ICD-9 to ICD-10 and consolidate our codes. My image, and I'm going to say Chalazion. When I say Chalazion, you'll notice it automatically chooses Chalazion for the right upper lid. If I place a Chalazion here, it will choose for right lower lid. If I choose here, it will do my left upper and so on. So it codes it based on where you are placing that image on your visual documentation engine. Also, this runs an order set that will also document your test findings or your tests, your education material, and your orders. I'm going to save this. What that's going to do is it's going to document my Chalazion with my appropriate codes because I have a right and a left. Another area where we may draw is our retina. So if I want to draw through my visual documentation, and I'm going to do a horseshoe tear. The horseshoe tear, again, will pull up with the appropriate ICD-10. Now, this one has differential diagnoses that are possible depending on the type of tear. Again, it will run my order set. If I want to change my order set, I can do so. And what that has done is it's documented my horseshoe tear, documented my appropriate ICD-10 code for me based on where I drew my tear. Another tool that Compulink offers to be able to quickly choose the appropriate ICD-10 code is through what we call Encounter Favorites. That is done through the lavender star on any of the tabs. We're going to look at the anterior and the posterior. Again, I'm going to cover two scenarios. Let's start with the anterior segment. For the anterior segment, I'm going to choose that my patient has a ectropion in the right eye. I'm going to say OK. That's then going to give me the possible items for ICD-10. Maybe they have a cicatricial right upper and a mechanical right lower, which would require two codes. so you can select multiple items. I can say OK, and then run my order set. It will document my ectropion. It will come over and document my ICD-10 codes. And lastly, let's look at the posterior encounter favorites. And we're going to choose an encounter favorite for cataract. When I choose cataract and I say OK, again, it gives me possible cataracts for that particular encounter favorite that I have built. Right, left, or bilateral to specify my laterality. And I say OK, and then I can run my order set, and it will document my appropriate ICD-10. For glaucoma, for example, there is mild, moderate, or severe. And in those cases, you would run the appropriate order set for it to document the appropriate ICD-10. When you save this and click on your charge button, then all of your ICD-10 codes will be there for you based on what you've forwarded, documented through your visual documentation engine, or documented through your encounter favorite. Thank you for joining us for ICD-10 by Compulink.